everybody, it's Jen with Caketastic Cakes, and I'm going to show you how I made this Lil Split Peely Fortnite skin cake. And if you see me use any tools or supplies you can use, check the description below. There's a link that'll be able to help you out. And to begin, this is kind of like, if you're not used to my more later setups here with my videos, this was actually a live stream I did on YouTube. And so the one side might freeze here and there, but I'll try to walk you through what I did as best I could. My son's super excited about the Fortnite, going back to the original map. So I like the Peely character. I like the new design that they had with it. So I decided to make the vanilla one. Now, before I began, I made 3 or 4, I forget. We'll see in a moment. 6-inch cakes. I made chocolate cake because this cake was for me. And I had them in the fridge cooling, no problems there. Now this is some teal fondant. I wanted to decorate the cake plate a little bit just to make it, you know, not silver flowers and shiny, because it doesn't exactly scream Fortnite. So I just rolled out 2 pieces of the teal, as you saw, made a ring, kind of messy ring. I should have done better, but since it was going to be for me, I didn't put 100% effort in, shall we say. Cut a little corners, left it a little sloppy, but anyway. Wrapped around the edge. I left the center open because the cake is going to sit there, so why waste the fondant? And trimmed off the edges, smoothed it off. Not as good as I should have, but good enough, we're going to say. I took some white fondant and just shaped a couple of clouds. And the idea is I'm just kind of pulling from the colors of Fortnite a bit with the sky and the drops and, you know, that kind of thing. Now I have my cakes here. I put it on a little cake plate. And just like any other cake you've ever made, if you've done it before, you just stack your tiers. I'm using just regular American buttercream, some nice crusting buttercream. And I'm going to stack my cakes up. It turns out I've got 3 6-inch cakes there. I kind of forgot how many I had. Oh, nope, I was wrong. 4. Yeah, I can count. It's been a long day. That's really all it is. Been a long day. So I stacked my 4 cakes up. I left the top one with the dome still intact and hacked it mercilessly in order to make it more tapered. Now, my Peely is obviously not exactly up to code as far as Peely goes, so I like to say I made the Chibi version, which is kind of like the cute, young, childish version of it. And I'm really happy with it, I gotta say. It's very cute. I don't know if I'd make this for a teenage boy necessarily. I might go for more realism and trim it down a lot thinner. But I didn't want to waste the cake, and it was for me. So, yeah, I liked it. I thought it was cute. Now, I had it all iced up, as you saw. I stuck it in the fridge. While that was going on, I put some sprinkles and stuff, like confetti sprinkles, on the cake plate in order to make it a little more fun. As you can see, the one side of my camera froze. So, yeah, pay attention to the giant cake bullet on the right side of the screen there. And I rolled out some light yellow fondant, excuse me, I almost said gum paste. And I'm just covering the cake. I just laid it over, rolled it out nice and thin. I shouldn't say that. I tend to roll my fondant a little bit thicker than I should. But yeah, so I rolled it out, covering it up, trying to smooth out my ridges and things as best I can. And yeah, trim off the excess at the bottom and try not to have any folds or wrinkles, which I was pretty successful in. Now, a little readjusting. You can see my camera's working again on the other side. And I lift the cake up and stick it on. Now, I'm using a veining tool. It's got the balls on the end in order to not cut into my fondant there. And I'm making the banana peel creases. Yeah, you gotta kind of, if you decide to do this style, you know, if you don't make it more realistic and just shave it down even more, you're going to want to leave your lines in between a little bit on the thicker or more spaced apart side, because his face kind of sits between the lines. Now I cut out a little crescent shape at the bottom for his mouth, filled it with a little piece of black fondant, and I'm just using that ball tool again to press it to fill in all the icing underneath. And I'm doing this, I cut it out. You don't have to cut out a shape, you could just stick it right on top. But I cut it out in order to have the mouth and everything inside it recessed into the cake a little bit. So this way I'm not building layer upon layer and his mouth isn't sticking out further than, you know, the surface of his banana peel. I added 3 white balls of fondant for his teeth and just smoothed them out to fit across the top. And I'm using a nice sky blue and robin's egg blue for the bottom tongue, because again, this is going to be the vanilla Lil Split version, and he's nice and colorful. Now, you're going to probably hear my South Jersey accent come out here and there in a minute, but for now, I've got just 2 pieces of nice dark rich brown fondant. Just made a couple of big circles. Make sure if you do decide to do something like this, keep his mouth close together and down low. He's got a lot of head, you know, coming out the top. I made a little bit of orange and a little bit of blue, just rolled it between my fingers and flattened the ends to make them look like rainbow jimmies. And I had the orange one and the blue one to go over his eyes. Just watch the colors and the locations and make sure they have a nice arch on them. Now I'm kind of cheating a little bit. I'm only going to do the top of his coat. And so I just have some white fondant. I just kind of rolled it between my hands as you saw and left it and make it nice and lumpy, because the collar of his jacket is I guess whipped cream, I'm guessing. So it's all lumpy and humped kind of. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And I'm wrapping the cake, as you can see, with the collar. There's a little bit of a gap in the back that I think I go back and fill in. I made this a little while ago, so I don't quite remember, I'm sorry. But anyway, I got more of that same dark brown color, and I'm going to put little splots and drips and, you know, just splats here and there on the collar of his jacket. And later on you're going to see that it goes on top of his hair too here. So here's his hair. It's another big piece of white fondant. This cake wastes a lot of fondant. It's very fun to make. Like, I really was happy with it. But yeah, you're gonna go through a lot of fondant. So if you ever decide to make this for anyone and you're charging them, consider it. Now I've got kind of a bent over teardrop shape. It's a little flat there on the one side, but the point comes up and bends over. There's my nice round ball tool again that I'm using to create creases, and I'm trying to smooth the creases with my fingers a bit so it's more of a gentle crease rather than like a cut into the fondant, to make it look like whipped cream, like it was like a swivel and then you pull away and it comes up and makes that point, but it has those little claw marks in it, the little lines, the drag marks in it. And once I was happy with that, plop it right on the tippy top of his little banana melon there. It's hard to see, once again, I'm sorry, the camera froze on the one side. Yeah, but on the other side you can see I'm just adding again some drips. I made some teardrop shapes, which I liked a lot. There's a splotch of the chocolate syrup, I guess this is, that goes on top of the whipped cream where the cherry's going to sit in a moment. So that's all that shape is there. It's 2 pieces, as you see, but it kind of doesn't matter because the cherry's going to cover it. I made an oblong shape. I flattened a little hole kind of in the center to make it more cherry shaped. And I'm taking a little bit of that brown again, my good old brown, and I'm putting it on a piece of dried spaghetti. Now when I make my cakes, I don't use wires, I don't use toothpicks, because obviously these cakes are themed for kids and you never know when someone's going to take a bite or anything. No one's going to get hurt biting dried spaghetti. And if you use regular dried spaghetti, it holds up great. It's great. So I just wrapped it up, stuck it in. There's my husband. Just ignore him. You need the computer for a second. But there it is. I was really happy with how it came out. So I hope you found this video helpful to some degree. Please like and subscribe because it helps me out a lot. And honestly, I could use the help. And I've got a lot of other Fortnite videos out there as well. So take a look, including how to make a loot llama. And as always, thanks for watching Caketastic Cakes.